Guys, if you're like me and you have trouble falling asleep, listen up. Our friends at Dream Honey have created a delicious, sweet melatonin-infused honey as an all-natural alternative to traditional sleep supplements. Dream Honey will help you fall asleep fast, stay asleep through the night, and wake up feeling ready to take on the next day. It's drug-free, non-habit forming. It tastes just like the sweet honey that you're familiar with. Dream Honey is the most convenient melatonin supplement on the market, and it tastes incredible. Take a spoonful by itself or mix it in with your nighttime tea. You can even bake with it or put it in your protein smoothie. It is the sweetest way to fall asleep. Are you ready to give it a try? Go to dreamhoney.com. Use the promo code Chael20. That's going to get you 20% off your first order. Go to dreamhoney.com, promo code Chael20, or just click on the link below. Charles Oliveira has finally spoken out about the weight debacle that cost him the world championship, and he maintains. And don't forget, this was in Arizona. Very relevant because Justin Gaethje is from Arizona. And as Charles will have it, the city's athletic commission wanted Justin Gaethje to win. So they tampered with the scale to mess with Oliveira's head. The opposite ended up happening, but the city commission is to blame. He could have chopped his leg off, got on the scale, and he still would have missed weight. But instead, the opposite happened. It had a positive effect, and he showed the world the greatest lightweight is named Charles Oliveira. Now, this is great. I mean, I'm so happy. Now, talk about a dollar short and a day late. How it took him this long to come up with such a ridiculous yarn. I love it. Why is he late on this? And the fact that he called the state athletic commission the city athletic commission, like there was also something about that popped off the page for me. There's something that's funny about calling. There's 50 of them in this country, and they all have the word state. It could be the Oregon State Athletic Commission. It could be the Nevada State Athletic Commission. It could be the Georgia State Athletic Commission. It could be the Texas State. He called it city. Like, there's just something about that tickled me. I like that. And I get that wasn't even meant to be funny. I get that was lost in translation. But it's an interesting claim, and I'm wondering why he's making it. Now, as the only person who cares at all about Charles Oliveira being stripped, I mean, this is the first sign of life that I've had, even from Charles Oliveira. I have the loudest voice with the most ears, you guys, and we're not bragging over here, but this is an institution. We come and do this every day, and we move the needle in this industry. That's just true. I would have been banging this needle to get him his belt back because there wasn't authority to strip it in the first place. No member of the media, and I do mean none, has ever posted the statute, policy, or bylaw by which Charles Oliveira was stripped. Now, I will share for you, it does exist. It does exist. Everything was handled the way it was supposed to be. However, says who? Says me? Why? Because I read something? That's called interpretation. Get your side together and fight this out. Turn to the masses and get him his belt back. Jose Aldo was the UFC champion and had never fought in the UFC. Ronda Rousey had never stepped in the octagon, had never been introduced by Bruce Buffer, and was the UFC champion. Matt Hughes woke up and was informed that he was the champion because his opponent, Carlos Newton, was also unconscious. I also think, and this is just pure nosy, I got to know everything, right? I have to know everything. I have to know everybody's business at all times. But I also think that a deal was reached in the back and there was a handshake done that Charles will be treated as the champion. That's extremely relevant for a couple of reasons. First off, if he is, why do we have a contract? Why would you possibly have a penalty and a punishment if the guy with the infraction is not going to be disciplined? Why would you have that? And I'm not cheering against Charles. I'm just asking a question. Like, is this something that should work for everybody? If you're the champion, go ahead and miss weight, screw up the whole card, The people who bought a ticket to see a championship match don't get to see a ticket, but we're going to give you the same in the back. If that's the way it's going to be, I do think that that's interesting. And the way Charles is behaving would make you think that that deal has been reached, or he doesn't know his own contract and he doesn't know that participation in his next fight is no longer activated. And that's possible. As weird as that might sound, it's possible. He did not know that a check scale and the official scale aren't going to be the same. He did not, as the highest paid athlete on the card, have a trainer or a manager or a friend, for God's sake, come with a calibrated scale. So for me to tell you that he may not know that he is not entitled to participation in his next fight because, though a championship fight, he is not defending the championship, which is exclusively the way the contract is written. He might not know. I mean, he was out yesterday trying to get Conor McGregor for the next fight and openly talking about the money, of which would not change for him per the contract unless somebody's already told him, yes, it does. Now, we don't have a horse in this race, and there's no part of me that's cheering against Charles Oliveira. And I know how it can sound that way. I'm just speaking to, it would seem like we need to know what's going on here. Hey, Charles, you're going to miss weight in the future, and you've missed it in the past. The reason is you don't have a calibrated scale that you have access to 24 hours a day. You should have a calibrated scale in your bathroom that nobody knows you have, so nobody's knocking on your door and nobody's trying to get on it. The same as every other fighter does, which is why no other fighter missed weight except for you. But it is an interesting point by me. That is a fair point by me, because there's a chance that he is not aware within his contract. Don't forget, Dana did not owe him. UFC did not owe Charles Oliveira his pay-per-view participation on the last fight, of which was reported accurately as the biggest pay-per-view of 2022. I could guesstimate what that bonus would be, and I'd probably get you right down within 10 grand. But it's very substantial and it's very meaningful. And Dana came out and said, no, stop everything. I'm giving it to him. There's going to be no discussion. There's going to be no fight. There's going to be no negotiation. There's going to be no turn into the letter of, I'm going to give it to him. And that's my choice. It's my money. It's my partner's money. Here's the decision that we made. We're going to give it to him. Now, I only say that because we know how that ended. But did a deal also get made for the next one? Because Charles Oliveira is in a really interesting spot. He was stripped of his championship. You tell me anybody that's been stripped of a championship, ever, that even can get a license to fight without a commission hearing. Now, of course, you're going to find all sorts of different reasons that they were stripped. I will just submit that for you. None of that is going to happen. You tell me somebody who misses weigh-in in what becomes a number one contenders match and then gets to go fight for the championship. Vincent Luque showed up 2 pounds overweight to be the backup fighter at Madison Square Garden for a Kamaru Usman-Colby Covington fight. The backup fighter generally now just became the number one contender. He missed weight by 2 pounds. He never got that title shot. I mean, you tell me anyone anywhere that has missed weight in a number one contenders fight and got a tough fight, but he's guaranteed it. He is absolutely guaranteed that he fights for the belt. As a matter of fact, as poorly as this rule is written, he must. No, I apologize. Not he must. No. They must. The UFC must put him in the next match that they have for the vacated title. They must. And the only reason I'm telling you that those words are all screwed up, what if he retired? What if he steps aside? What if he got hurt? What if he leaves the division? The rule says you must put him in. So does that mean you cannot ever, for the rest of time, hold the match? Yes, that's what it would mean. I realize this is ridiculous and nobody would challenge it, and we're going to fiercely adhere to the rules that we make up on the spot. What I'm talking about is the letter of the law, and who let that get slipped in? I mean, who let that get slipped in? That you must. Come on. All right. I bring this to you, and I think that it's interesting because it's the first time Charles Oliveira has shown a sign of life, and why he will be treated like the champion in every way, including the fact that he will get the main event and he will be in a championship fight next. The part of his contract that says he gets pay-per-view participation, and he's specifically trying to line himself with Conor McGregor because it's a bigger fight. There is no participation. Zero. None. Joanna Jędrzejczyk went through this over the weekend. She was the champion of the world. She'd already fought Wei Li. There was a whole bunch of money. Now she's got to go out there. She's got to fight Wei Li. There's no championship, and she doesn't get near the prize. And that got tested, and the UFC said, no, look, this is how this is done. This is exclusive for that pool, of which Charles not part of. Does he know that? He didn't know a state athletic commission was called a city athletic commission. He didn't know that a check scale does not have to be in line with the official scale. He doesn't understand how calibration works. I'm not looking to tease him. You only know what you know. I don't think most of you knew this rule. I don't think most of you were aware that if you get on and off of the scale, that is specifically what decalibrates it. Therefore, a check scale that everybody's getting on and off of, a reasonable person would conclude is being decalibrated. I mean, you don't know anything until you know it. It would seem as though somebody should grab a hold of him and let him know. If I was to guess, moreover, I think we've already hit it on the head. I think they already shook hands and we're all going to move forward. But if that is the precedence, then that's what we're going to do. I mean, look, you can't keep a secret in this business. Charles is showing absolutely no signs by coming out and talking about Conor McGregor and talking about all the money they're making. He's showing no signs that a hush-hush deal was made. And you can't make a deal with a guy that can't keep his mouth shut or it infiltrates an entire industry. I mean, it would be a knee-jerk reaction by the UFC, which they usually don't do. So does Charles Oliveira not know that for his next fight, he gets his base pay? Very simple question. It's not my business. But someone should tell him, don't you think?